To breaking news now, and there are reports that Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is set to resign as early as tomorrow. According to reports in the Globe and Mail, Trudeau will stand down as Liberal Party leader following an internal revolt. The embattled PM is set to announce the decision before a national caucus meeting. Trudeau has served as Canada's 23rd Prime Minister since 2015. A source has told Reuters he has yet to make a final decision.
What's up, y'all? Gerald here, creator of Gospel Chops and your host for this YouTube channel, back with another video. Now, y'all, just this morning, I watched on live television Justin Trudeau resign as the president, prime minister, leader of his party in Canada, our neighbor to the north. And I thought it was amazing, this blackface-wearing Justin Trudeau, this dictator of this country who has impeded on the freedom of his people. Well, since I've known him since about 2015 or so, since he's been the leader of this nation, he's been a menace. He's been a problem, and the people don't like him. Well, I recall just a couple weeks ago, he went down to Mar-a-Lago and met with the future president of America, President-elect Donald Trump. And he clowned him so bad, yo. Trump did. He said, listen, bro, you coming in here like you the prime minister and president of Canada, like the leader of your party. Let me tell you something. You ain't nothing but our lame neighbor to the north who hasn't protected our border, who hasn't done anything to our benefit. How about you be the governor of the 51st state of the United States? How about that? How about we just swallow up Canada and make you the governor? That's some big talk. That's some scary talk. And this man, in the wake of what Donald Trump presented him, ran back to Canada. And just a couple weeks later, y'all, he is resigning as of today, saying, look, he says, I resign as the leader of my party. And as soon as this country is able to elect someone else on a nationwide complex level, I'm stepping down. I'm out. I'm good. I'm sure Donald Trump is somewhere smiling with a Kool-Aid grin over this foolishness. Because in this reformation of America, in the stepping up of MAGA coming into leadership of this country, trying to take corrective action, y'all, we're witnessing a global correction. Not just in America, no, it's around the world. You're seeing people getting in line. You're seeing people changing their posture. Understanding that the Yankee is about to be back in office. The cowboy is about to be back in office. And I don't think that's a correct characterization because Donald Trump is a New Yorker. That's a city boy. He's not a Texan. He's not a cowboy, but that's how they look at him when they see him from places around the world, and they say, look, Canada is like, yo, this is going to be a problem. Justin Trudeau got to go. I don't mind it at all. Blackface wearing Justin Trudeau. I don't mind it. And then I looked a little deeper. And then you got this female president of Mexico who seems to be emboldened by the cartels. Yeah, she bad now. We understand how Mexico politics work. You can't be a president of Mexico unless you are controlled like a puppet by the cartels. And this woman steps up, talking big, talking bad, thinking she gonna chirp at the future president of the United States. Listen, lady, I'm not sure if you understand how this thing works. So someone is going to step in and going to talk to you in private and see if you can understand the sentiment that is being conveyed by America. You ain't running nothing. Donald Trump and his first administration threatened to send special forces down to Mexico and said, look, we can take your cartels out. Can we drop a bomb on Mexico? Donald Trump ain't playing with none of y'all. This poor little rich kid from New York, he not playing. So when you step up here and get to chirping, we have to wonder, Not only who put you in office, but who authorized you to say these things on behalf of Mexico, because y'all vulnerable. Maybe you don't understand the position that you're in. I read an article about a couple weeks ago. Must have been a couple weeks. Said that Mexico has imposed a tariff on cruise ships coming into their ports. Okay, well, that's a tariff. That's a tax. You're entitled to do it as a country, but what if, as you out here barking, lady, we know you're propped up. We know you got a little backing from the cartels. We know that the cartels operate freely in America because open border policies. We understand everything that's going on here. But what if the new administration got into office and put a tariff on all the money, all the American money that is repatriated into Mexico every year? We're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars. And just in case you haven't seen the currency conversion from a dollar to a peso, let me put it on the screen there so you can see what's really going on. See, they come across the border, they get a job laboring in the fields and the factories. He sent half of that money back home. And somebody living well in Mexico, and at a certain point, they just retire and go back home, some of them, after committing crimes, after violating our laws, after being here illegally. Yeah, they just go back home after they done stacked up some bread. I'm sure some of y'all didn't know that, but welcome to modern day politics. Trump is saying, listen, little lady, I will wipe out you, your backing, your cartels, your country, your people. I don't care about none of this, because you have taken advantage of America. And she comes with this little lame argument that says, well, 70% of the weapons that we confiscate in Mexico are from the US. Okay, well, blame Obama for Fast and Furious. He was running guns down to Mexico, caught red-handed, busted. Him and Eric Holder selling guns to Mexican cartels, and one of those guns ended up killing an American citizen. To my knowledge, no one has ever faced charges. No one has ever been prosecuted. Maybe they'll investigate it in the next administration, but you out here chirping, lady. You out here talking big. Donald Trump ain't trying to hear it. The second time around, he has a clear understanding of what's going on.
Now, Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum slammed Trump's tariff threat yesterday, suggesting her country could retaliate with its own tariffs. She also claimed migrant caravans are no longer reaching the border with the United States. The comments were made during a press conference yesterday in which Sheinbaum read from a letter she sent to Donald Trump. She said, quote, allocating even a fraction of what the United States spends on warfare toward peace building and development would address the deeper drivers of migration. Sheinbaum went on to blame the United States for its role in drug trafficking, saying, quote, 70% of the illegal weapons seized from criminals in Mexico come from your country. Tragically, it is in our country that lives are lost to the violence resulting from meeting the drug demand in yours. President Sheinbaum of Mexico in a letter to Donald Trump.
Y'all, if Canada and Mexico wasn't enough, here goes Honduras. Of all places. Honduras that has emptied out its prisons, that has emptied out its mental institutions and sent the crazy folks. Y'all got them in New York. You see what's going on in New York City? They're sending us their worst. You heard Donald Trump before. He said they're not sending us their best. No, they're not sending the doctors and the lawyers and the engineers. No, they're sending the prisoners and the gangbangers, leaving us to deal with it on the streets in some of these blue cities that don't even allow us to protect ourselves. But that's a whole nother video. We'll get to that later. But here we got Honduras saying that we will impose our own reactive tariffs and whatnot on America. We will, look, you got a base down here. We'll shut that base down. Listen, lady, I need you to roll it back so much. I need you to pull it back so much. You know how much funding that base provides for your country. Those thousands of troops that go out and eat food in your towns. You don't understand, because you wouldn't be making these statements otherwise, that if America decided to pull its resources from your country, all those tens and hundreds of billions of dollars that we give to you every year, well, you'd fall into chaos. You wouldn't even be able to maintain. You might cease to be a country at all. So what is spawning all of these petty dictators to chirp like this? To clap at the future president like this, the future administration like this? What has gotten into y'all's brains? Oh, I get it. Y'all been living a certain way. Y'all been rocking a certain way for the last 4 years under a certain administration. Listen, I need you to get it through your thick skull now, before it becomes much difficult later. I need you to get it through your brain. Things have changed in America. This is the MAGA movement. There is an entirely new administration that is coming. There is a new political culture that is coming to this country, and you are going to be subject to it as an ally or a foe of this country. I guess that choice is going to be yours, but from Canada to Mexico to Honduras to anywhere else in the world, you're going to be subject to the things that are coming as of January 20th.
CNN's Rosa Flores is in Houston for us now. Rosa, how is Mexico responding to what we're hearing from the incoming Trump administration about how they plan to crack down on the border and carry out these mass deportations?
Well, very sternly. As a matter of fact, Mexico's president held a press conference this morning in response to President-elect Donald Trump's threat to impose tariffs on Mexico, actually. But Jim, as you know, all of these things are intermingled. Mexico's president was very firm. She called out President-elect Donald Trump, saying that both Mexico and the United States collaborate on a lot of different levels, including economically. And in other words, she said that she's ready to respond in kind. Let me read to you a portion of that letter that she sent to President-elect Donald Trump. She said, quote, "President Trump, neither threats nor tariffs will solve the issue of migration or drug consumption in the United States. Cooperation and shared understandings are required to face these important challenges. Imposing one tariff would mean another comes in response." I'm going to read that one more time because these are very important words from Mexico's president. Imposing one tariff would mean another comes in response, continuing like this until we put shared companies at risk. Now, the tone of this letter is very important because Mexico's president is not just talking about tariffs, about economic and the economic relationship with the United States, but also the border relationship with the United States, because Mexico has done a lot to help the Biden administration control the migration that is coming into the U.S. southern border.
Ahora, el presidente Trump ha hablado de deportaciones masivas. Por supuesto, nosotros no estamos de acuerdo con ello y por eso siempre defendemos. Nosotros no estamos a favor de estas deportaciones. Pero si se llegan a dar, porque no todo depende pues, de lo que nosotros decidamos, vamos a recibir a los mexicanos y mexicanas que lleguen a nuestro país y vamos a solicitar a Estados Unidos que en la medida de lo posible, pues los migrantes que no son de México puedan llevarlos a sus países de origen. Y si no, nosotros podemos colaborar a través pues, de distintos mecanismos. Ya habrá momento para hablar con el gobierno de Estados Unidos si realmente ocurren estas deportaciones. Pero aquí los vamos a recibir y los vamos a recibir bien y tenemos un plan que ayer dije que en su momento lo íbamos a presentar.
And there you have it, y'all. There is a shifting that is taking place in America, and I'm glad about it. I hope you are too. I voted for it. I hoped for it. I prayed for it. And I'm glad to see that it is coming to fruition, because had it not been for the vote going our way, I don't know how bad this country would have gotten. I can only imagine. And my imagination took me to some places that I didn't want to go. It's bad enough that our borders are wide open, that crime is out of control, that you're teaching our children that gender is fluid and can be whatever they want it to be. Whatever you can imagine, that's what it is. No, we cling to our guns and our Bibles like Obama used to say. Yeah, we're going to cling to it. We're going to hold fast to it. And we're going to hold strong to the principles that this country was built upon. And for these petty dictators around the world who don't want to get it, who don't want to see it the way that Americans see it, well, maybe you're not an ally at all. Maybe you're not a friend of this country at all. And maybe we should treat you as such. Do you want that smoke? Take a moment, ask yourself, ask your citizenry. Understand that this country is the finance base for the world. Do y'all remember? I'm not even gonna go all the way there. But if you recall, see, I'm old enough to remember where there was a financial crisis around the world and the American Fed bailed out banks around the world with trillions of dollars of American taxpayer money. We are funding the entire world. Y'all better stop playing with America. Because if we ever get back to the point where we are a government of the people, for the people, by the people, oh, y'all gonna see a difference globally. And I know in the back of the mind of every MAGA American, we hoping that's gonna happen during this administration. I don't think so. Well, we always pushing towards the betterment of this country. And I think that is the betterment for people to understand. We are financing y'all. How you going to be an enemy of the country that is funding your entire government? How you going to fly planes into buildings in New York City? And then we find out half of your whole family is residing in America and they got to fly you out instantly because they think the public is going to rise up against y'all. Wait a minute. This is the weeding out of the swamp. Because we have been infiltrated on every level, socially, politically, economically. We have been infiltrated and it necessitates specific action. It's going to be harsh. It's going to be painful to some people, but in order to be corrective in nature, well, we got to suffer through it. It's going to be some pain in this, even for the good folk. Even for those who wish well of America and want us to do good. It's going to be a little pain. Are you willing to endure it? Do you have what it takes to survive it? Are you here for the long haul? Are you here to set up generations beyond us? Are you here to plant seeds for future trees that we know we will never even live to enjoy the shade of? If you are, then I would appreciate it if you let me know in the comments what you think about this video. Because this new era of America is setting off ripples around the globe, and I'm glad to witness it. Good riddance to Justin Trudeau. Mexico, you better be careful. You better tread lightly. Honduras, you don't want that at all. Listen, just fall back. You ain't even in the same league. Just sit down. Y'all let me know what you think about this. I'd love to know your thoughts on this topic. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video so we can get more people involved in the conversation, y'all. And like I always say, always remember, never forget, without the gospel, it's just chops. Until next time, peace.